I am therefore we are a people whose legacy transcends 400 years of European captivity. This is my history, rooted in African spirituality, preaching and teaching to love the original self, respect nature, ancestor veneration, seek the righteous path to knowledge, wisdom and understanding of life and death, because we live forever. As long as our children speak about our African legacy, this is my history. From Amenhotep to Malcolm X, from Hatshepsut to Assata Shakur, from the Orisha to Kwanzaa, from Cairo to the Cape, from Cuba to Trinidad and Tobago, from Asia to Australia, from the beginning of time to infinity, this is my history. Nubian, Kemitian, Ashanti, Wolof, Hausa, Yoruba, Zulu, African people, black people, my people, our people. Now when I speak of black, I mean color, culture, and spiritual consciousness. To know that self-knowledge is key to our liberty in this war against Euro-American South African brutality. This is my history. This is my history. Them say what is to be must be. Life is but a continuous cycle. But now I speak, we write in foreign tongues because they came, they saw, they conquer. Genocide I roots mine. Like the devil they stole we land. Kidnap with soul for pieces of gold. Rape my mother, behead my father, castrate my brother, lust for my sister. This is my history. Victims of European pirates of the seven seas, who came in boats from ships, sailed by heroes of Caucasian descendants. Sir Francis Drake, Henry Morgan, Cristobal Colon, Henry the Navigator, John Hawkins, who stripped us and packed us like rats in hulls of slave ship, a free trip down Atlantic lane, to experience only sorrow and pain. This is my history. This is my history. Once living in high society, wild beast stalk you land with baton in hand, remind me of 20th century Babylon. From the cave they sprang with the assistance of an African, only to wreak havoc in foreign land. Talking about Ice Age people, European people, British, French, Dutch, Spanish, Portuguese, white people. Now when I speak of white, I mean those racist crackers who plot to annihilate my story. This is my history. This is my history. Telling her story, because in essence I am she and she is me. As godlike beings, let us restore our strength and power. Know right from wrong. Teach the youth the truth about him African roots. This is my history. So don't be pessimistic, because all is not lost. Since I stand before you, moving and grooving to revolutionary sounds invoked by my lost but found spiritual self. So picture a scene of the moon and the sun, because that is truly she and me. This is my historial.
Welcome to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. I am your host, Brother Hatim, and we'd like to thank you for checking us out. Be sure to subscribe and check out our podcast, Gye-Nyame Journey, Folktales for Grown Folks, on Mile 3. Give yourself permission, Gye-Nyame Warrior Training, Magic Hour, Society Truth, and Tribal Quotes. Also, check out our playlists. We built them with wisdom, mining, and you in mind. So get the wisdom and welcome to this journey. And most importantly, remember to subscribe and support. Subscribe and support. And I pray that your day will be as beautiful as you are. Peace.
Minute by minute.
Minute by minute.
Hour by hour.
Hour by hour.
You lose your history.
You lose your history.
You lose your power.
You lose your power.
Minute by minute.
Minute by minute.
Hour by hour.
Hour by hour.
You lose your faith.
You lose your faith.
You lose your power.
You lose your power.
If it is to be,
If it is to be,
it's up to me.
it's up to me.
I feel good about myself.
I feel good about myself.
I feel good about the people around me.
I feel good about the people around
I
me.
feel goodness all around me.
I feel goodness all around me.
And it will follow me for the rest of my life.
And it will follow me for the rest of my life.
Cause I walk with good.
'Cause I walk with good.
And I talk with good.
And I talk with good.
And I am good.
And I am good.
And that feels real good.
And it feels real good.
Good, better, best.
Good, better, best.
Never let it rest.
Never let it rest.
Until your good is your better.
Your good is your better.
And your better is your best.
And your better is your best.
Black people,
Black people,
you were once great.
you were once great.
You shall be great again.
You shall be great again.
Lose not faith.
Lose not faith.
Lose not courage.
Lose not courage.
Go forward.
Go forward.
Uplift the race.
Uplift the race.
Harambe.
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 All right, let's get it started. Let's get it started. As he said, we had enough. I had enough of this fuckery. Peace, this is Brother Hatim, and you have joined us on Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
I had enough.
Be sure to check out our site and subscribe at tribe.gyenyame.journey.com.
Leave a message. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Hold hands and bow your head.
'Cause I had enough.
Let us pray. God
Enough,
stands in the context of the
enough.
mighty. He judgeth amongst the gods. Along
We
with the
had
judge and
enough.
I say, defend the poor and the fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and the needy. Deliver the poor and needy.
Defend the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hands of the wicked, for they know not. Neither they understand, for they walk on in darkness, while all the foundation of the earth are out of course. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High, but shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. So arise, O God, and judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. And we live, family. I am sorry, I am a couple of minutes late. Let me tell you this. I'm gonna be honest. I got some apricots this afternoon, man. Some dried apricots. And I didn't know that was equivalent of eating prunes, brother. You know, I got up, tried to walk away from the toilet 3 times, and it was an unsuccessful effort. I'm just trying to be all the way honest. Just letting y'all know, just in case I have to get up in the midst of a call. If you call in and you start talking, You might need to hold the mic because I'm telling you right now, I did not equate apricots with prunes. I said this is a peach. This is a dry peach. Look at, let me. No. No, Lord. But so, hey, it is what it is. We're going to make it happen. It's time for Folktales for grown folks. But family, first off, I got to make sure we start this thing off right. Because y'all know, at Gye-Nyame, we always try to make sure that we get you the information that you need. So family, at Gye-Nyame Journey, we're trying to build this virtual nation. We're trying to be this media empire. We're trying to build something for our children's children to be able to hang on to. And in order to do that, we need your help. You know what I'm saying? So right now we are looking for our mighty 100, our spectacular 100, our amazing 100. We're looking for the first 100 sponsors of the show. Looking for people that's going to basically adopt what we do here. More than the show, adopt what Gye-Nyame Journey does. Media is an important part, but media is not the only thing we do, even though everything we do communicates, right? So our actions are a medium through which we communicate to the people that we work with. You understand what I'm saying? So I guess it is the media aspect that you are supporting. So, you know what I'm saying? In order for us to stream, you know what I'm saying, it costs. In order for us to stream on multiple platforms, it costs. In order for us to prepare for any type of festival, any cultural stabilizing holidays, for us to do camping trips, and for us to try to get young people up to Simba and to different places and do field trips and stuff like that, it costs. And we've been able to hustle. But the question is, why is it we got to hustle so hard when it comes to us doing for us? That should be, in many cases, the easiest part of our lives, because
to have melanin embedded in our skin is a gift.
Oh my gosh, when I say too black, you say too strong. Too black? Too strong? Yeah.
We were born to be great.
Oh my gosh, when I say too black, you say too strong. Too black?
We were born to be great.
Peace, family. Yo, thank you for joining us, right? And I'm thrilled to announce the fact that we are now releasing our first free e-course. Come and learn about Gye-Nyame Journey, see some of the stuff we do. Come and join the tribe up with us, and check out the free e-course. And we'll make sure that the URL pop up right about here. And it'll probably be somewhere in here. Check us out, family, because we are building. Come and learn about Gye-Nyame Journey. And let's
All right, family. All right, family. You know, we back. We back. Hey, so we about to go on and jump straight into this folk tale. But like I said, there's several different ways you can support us, and we're not just asking for you to give. When you do give, you always receive something in return from Gye-Nyame Journey Media, because our goal is to bring value. We want to exchange value. We're not asking for a one-way donation. What we are doing is that we are, when you give, we give. And then you give, we give. We're going to make sure that you have access to our digital library. All books that come through Gye-Nyame Journey, all those that are supporters will receive access. And, of course, the authors of the material still, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna get taken care of. Why? Because y'all taking care of us. We're gonna be able to take care of them. We're going to build something that can be copied all over this country. You know what I'm saying? So earlier today, those of you that was fortunate enough, I was blessed with the presence of Baba, also known as Dr. Kelsey. He came through to share with us his 11 steps for organizing and empowering African-centered organizations for victorious living. And it was a great conversation, and we're going to have him back on the show. You know what I'm saying? And we will be dropping the special report, and it will be available on it'll be available through Gye-Nyame Journey Media, and I'm gonna send out the link. It'll be it's $5. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you know, money going to supporting the community. You know what I'm saying? So of course, you know, the author gonna get taken care of, but you know, any proceeds that Gye-Nyame Journey gets is gonna go back into feeding what we do, building what we do. Feeding our kids when we do, or feeding young people when we are able, if we are ever able to get back to the meetings, you know what I'm saying? So we might end up having to save up money and start door dashing food to some of the young people's houses, just so that we can keep the tradition going, so we don't forget what it's like for us to come together and eat together. All right, everybody got their pizza? Okay, cool. We're going to all take a bite in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, Clay, give me that letter right there, man. That letter right there, on top right there. Yeah, that one right there. Yeah, here we go. I got a letter from the government. Yesterday, I opened and read it. It said they were suckers. They want me to be grateful or whatever over this stimulus bill or whatever. So, you know, they sent the money and homeboy signed it. And I'm sitting up here, I can't see for the life of me how that, I guess I thought I wrote sloppy, but goddamn, you know. I got a letter from the government yesterday. I opened and read it. It said that they were suckers. They want me to be grateful or whatever for this stimulus bill they put together. All right, so family, let's go on and let's get into this folk tale. We're going to get into this folk tale and have this conversation. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. I read it for y'all earlier. I read it for y'all this morning. Hopefully y'all had your minds working and we can have a discussion. The lines are open, 614-556-4535. Once again, those lines are open, 614-556-4535. That's what the book is. That's what the book gonna look like right there. Oh, that look good. Gye-Nyame Journey, we getting better and better and better, right? We getting better and better at what we do. So also, with the subscriptions, the newsletter we will be jumping up that newsletter real soon. So family, get ready for it. And then all of the other digital content that's gonna be flowing out. You know what I'm saying? Those of you that are subscribed is going to be able to get it. Now, I got an interview tomorrow with C. Earl Campbell III, and we're going to be talking about his book. And it's going to be a very interesting talk because I think I think Mr. Campbell might be giving up some names. You know what I'm saying? He might be giving up some names tomorrow. He wrote a little I ain't gonna say a little. He wrote a powerful piece that we're going to discuss, and we're going to help him push on Gye-Nyame Journey. The name of his book is The Art of Black War Against a Black Enemy. Now, here's the description. Get ready. The uplift, empowerment, and progress of black African American people has been sabotaged and interfered with by an elite secret fraternity of black men for over 100 years. It's time that black African Americans or African Americans knew who their black enemy is, where it is, and how it operates, and demands that it stop negatively interfering in the affairs of our people. We must also demand and implement our own national comprehensive black empowerment plan without our enemies sabotaging it. If we are to survive in the 21st century, the art of black war against a black enemy accomplishes this. Man, go ahead. So, we're gonna run down through, and we're gonna have this powerful conversation with Brother C. Earl Allen Campbell III tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. So let's get into the folktale for tonight. Of course, that's gonna be available through Now that's not a Gye-Nyame. He put the whole book together. So those of you that are subscribing, you know what I'm saying? Those of you that are supporting members of Gye-Nyame Journey, you can't get that one. We gonna do some negotiations. I'm gonna do some negotiations, but I can't guarantee it because that is not that's all Brother Charles's, right? So you know what I'm saying. But there are some other arrangements, and that's why it's important you stay in tune with Gye-Nyame Journey, because as we start doing these private courses, I'm gonna start teaching the family how you can plug into our Ujanomics network. Once again, I'm going to teach you how you're going to be able to plug into the Ujanomic network. Now, because like, for example, a brother called me today, Brother Allende, with a marvelous idea. I'm plug that into the Ujanomic network. People are going to be able to benefit from that because it was a marvelous idea. We're going to work it out. We're going to make it work. You know what I'm saying? And is going to employ, not possibly, is going to employ some of our young people, as well as some of the older people too, because I know a lot of times we talk about employing the young people when we got an employment problem, just period. It don't matter about the young people, but yeah, Cleve and his crew gonna be able to make money. Tykees and his crew gonna be able to make a little bit of money, right? And we gonna show them how to do it, and it's all gonna be legal. And like I said, family, listen, this direction Gye-Nyame Journey Media is heading, right? Tawi Family Village. This is the direction that the conscious community is heading here. While in other places, the conscious community is just by 2023. Y'all hearing here, by 2023, we're gonna be running this damn city. Listen, right? Family, like I said, hold on. Support, and let's push it forward. Also, one of the things that we definitely want to work on is some animation of some stories, because it's important that our babies see positive images of themselves, as well as some of us. I want to do something that adult can sit down and watch with the kids and be like, oh, that's cool. So I'm looking for people that could do animation. I'm looking for people that can, because I would like to do, I've been talking with John about some graphic novels. I got some ideas. He got some ideas. You know what I'm saying? Music is definitely not out of the issue, because y'all hear all of the music that I play is original music. It's music that's been created by individuals in our collective past and present. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, we building up, we got music. You know what I'm saying? We got a extensive library. Those of you that watch DigiTV, Y'all know this. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to run reruns all day. I can just push a button and it just be running all day. I just stop in and check to make sure everything is going right. We got content for days. So family, we're not playing in this nation builder piece. And I know some of y'all like, Brother Hutton, read the story. Here it comes. I am coming from Aesop Fables, complete original translation by from the Greek. Is by Aesop, translated by George Filer Townsend. So here we go. The Farmer and the Stork. A farmer placed nets on his newly sown plowlands and caught a number of cranes, which came to pick up his seed. With them he trapped a stork that had fractured his leg in the net and was earnestly beseeching the farmer to spare his life. "Pray, pray, save me, master," he said, "and let me go free this once, please. My broken limb should excite your pity. Besides, I am no crane. I am a stork, a bird of excellent character. And see how I love and slave for my father and mother. Look too at my feathers. They are not the least like those of the crane. So please let me go." The farmer laughed. "It may be all as you say. I only know this. I have taken you with these robbers, the cranes, and you must die in their company. Birds of a feather flock together." Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Waiting for it. Cause this is real life here, Gye-Nyame Journey. Oh, I guess you just ain't gonna do it, right? Okay. My spiritual animals and spiritual crowd is on strike right now. You know what I'm saying? They see that the rest of the world is stopping. For some reason, they believe that they don't have to carry through on their task. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. I'm just like, I do what I can. Oh, now you drop the thunder, the strike of God, right? Listen, family, listen. Birds of a feather flock together. That is a standard, right? But you just heard the roots of that saying. So, we have a stork that was in the wrong place at the wrong time. That stork sound like my little brother. That stork sound like my son. That stork sound like a nephew. That stork sound like a cousin. Being in the wrong place at the wrong time in the wrong company can cost you a lot. Now, and I need for us to focus on this lesson, not just for our young people, because it's a good story. This is one of those ones that is real good, simple, straight to the point, that you could tell to your children and get it ingrained. We could tell it to our children at the next village camping trip, right? Because we're going to have one. Soon as this COVID thing is over and we got the clear, we are going and we're going to build a village out there and we're going to share these stories, and maybe this will be one. Because this story right here not only can help us in our private lives, but once again, we can expand it all the way into our political lives. We can expand this all the way into our business lives. We can expand this all the way into our community life, into our tribal life. Birds of a feather flock together. Now the cranes were out in this field. Now, how did the farmer know that the cranes would be out in the field? Because the cranes had a history of doing the crime and returning to the scene of the crime. Now this farmer, see, because I want y'all to know, this ain't like today where Brother Hatim got a garden, and because the garden ain't growing fast enough, you know what I'm saying, I go to the store and I could replace the stuff because I work and I trade my time for money. And because I'm able to trade my time for money, now I got money to go and purchase food stuff. Then what this man was planning was his food stuff, was his money. It wasn't no running out to the store. He had to go to the market. He had to wait for the market to be open. You understand? And these birds were costing him time and resources. They would eat the seeds. They'll step on the seeds and push them too far down in the mud so that they wouldn't be able to grow. So they were destroying this man's livelihood. So this man knew that they was going to be there. So he laid a trap for them because they showed their history. Now, this is a piece. When Brother John came on, he talked about developing habits. These cranes fell into a negative habit. Although the cranes was just being cranes, right? But the lesson is for us as human beings to realize, look, it's some shit that we just don't need to do. And it's some shit that we just don't need to make a habit. Because once we make it a habit, we are become predictable. When we become predictable, we are able to be trapped. One of my favorite movies, and I always refer back to this movie every time I get The Godfather. Sonny was a crane. Sonny developed habits that caused him to get caught in the net of bullets at the toll booth. They knew how he was going to react. They knew where he was going to be. They set the net, and just like the cranes, he showed up right on time. Caught all of those bullets. Right? Many of us have had individuals in our lives who were like these cranes. They develop habits. I know exactly how you're going to react, so I can go on and pull your strings and have you react like that. Some of y'all in relationships like that. The people already know how to pull your strings because you have developed habits, and they are able to pick up on these habits. And because they're able to pick up on these habits, they are able to trap you in the net. Many of y'all are being trapped in the net of your job. Many of y'all are being trapped in the net of your institution that you serve or you work at. Come on, family. Stop being a crane. Stop being so predictable. Stop being so easily overcome. Getting trapped in the net because of your habits. I ain't even get on the stork yet. I ain't even got on the folly of the stork yet. But the farmer was someone who watched, studied, and he knew. He probably knew about what time they would come. Had the net ready for him. So not only did he stop him from eating his seeds, he probably had a good meal too. Crane is probably pretty good. And so is stork. They look like big chickens. So I imagine, he had him some wings and some thighs, and you know what I'm saying? And, and him and his family ate good because meat, in some cases, was kind of hard to come by back then. Hold on for a second, family. I need to let the family know that we are live right now on G&J Media. Let's go on and do it. Y'all gonna help me? Y'all help me do it, right? Let me turn the camera around. Peace, family. I forgot to post this on Instagram, just like I forgot to post the interview with the Baba. I'm trying to get better at this, family. We are live right now at GNJmedia.live. Come on over, holler at us. The black line is open, 614-556-4535. Come on, let's rapidate about this story about the farmer and the stork. Are you the farmer? Are you the crane? Or are you the stork? Or are you all three? What can we learn from this? What wisdom can we use from this story to improve our lives? Family, if you're not there, you're going to miss a good one. Peace. That's once again GNJmedia.live. This is Brother Hatim. I'm out. All right, family, I got it. I did it. All right, so next. So y'all need to remind me. I need a crew to be like, Brother Hatim, you need to get up on your shit, Brother Hatim. You're not up on it. I don't know what's taking this so long. It usually don't take this long. What? Oh, my God. We want Gye-Nyame Radio. Yeah. Remember password. Why I got to do this every time? This don't make no sense. I mean, actually, I guess they're trying to keep my security, and I dig it. I could dig it. I did this yesterday. I don't know why they got me going through all this again. So I ain't going to do that one. I'll just skip Tumblr. Tumblr won't. Oh, no wonder. It's the wrong damn. I'm on the wrong damn page. All right, so we're going to do that all again. So I won't bore y'all with that. They just won't know right now. But family, once again, so now let's finish. So we know the stories. Those negative habits that we build, right? Those negative habits. Like, we could see this with the Great Pumpkin. The press just be catching him. It's like they know he gonna lie, so they say stuff that automatically is gonna trigger him. See, this is why the leadership, right? The triggers got to be so hidden that the enemy don't know what to do. Right now, we exposed like hell as America. You know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to get a response. It's easy to get a crane-like response out of this leadership. You know what I'm saying? So we spoke about the crane. Now the farmer was somebody that's overlooking stuff. Now, one of the things one of the lessons in Gye-Nyame that we stress with the family is that no one will respect your stuff more than you, nor should they. Let me say that again. No one will respect your stuff more than you, nor should they. This was this man's land. This was this man's crops. You know what I'm saying? This was this man's living. And if he didn't take action, nobody else would. This man was in control of his space and his time enough to know that if he didn't take care of this problem, it would move into other parts of his life. He was diligent in what he did. He was wise in his action. He controlled him. He was patient. Dr. Kelsey often said, he used to say when I was younger, and I never could understand it, the patient man eats ripe fruit. You're like, man, and I was in my 20s. Oh, man, I'm not trying to hear that. But as you start getting older, you really start understanding, wow, the patient man eats ripe fruit. And I heard this quote from, it's a major investor. He's one of the richest investors in the world. The old dude, they call him the wizard of, is it Oklahoma or something like that? I can't remember his name. He says the stock market rewards the patient by taking money from the impatient. Patience, right? Buying your time, and at the right moment, springing the trap. Being wise enough and knowing the terrain well enough so that you can spring the trap. being willing to take care of what's yours because nobody else is going to do it. Right? Right? So when it comes to reparations, like, because y'all know I'm big on reparations. When it comes to reparations, we got to be like that farmer. Because the crane's been eating up our resources. We just got to wait to spring the trap. First, we got to lay the trap. But first, we got to recognize that it's our farm. And no one will take better care of your stuff than you will. Nor should they. So you got to recognize it's yours and you got to be willing to take care of it. Your business. No one will take care of your shit better than you, nor should they. Right? Your relationship. No one will take better care of your shit than you, nor should they. Your health. No one will take better care of your shit better than you, nor should they. This farmer realized that. So this farmer wisely and slowly and stealthily laid a trap that they couldn't even see. It was right below their feet. They were standing on the trap and didn't even know they were standing on the trap until it was too late. The patient man eats ripe fruit. The patient man is able to make right choices. So now we discuss the cranes. We kind of discuss the cranes. We discuss the farmer. Now let's discuss the stork. The stork, we don't know if the stork hung with the cranes every day. We don't know. We don't know. I mean, like the farmer said, everything that the crane was saying could have been true. But the crane decided to hang with a group that was trying to get over. And he got caught. He might have not ate a seed, but he was standing where he shouldn't have been standing with a group that he shouldn't have been with in the first place. And he got caught up. So now he got to learn a vital lesson about life. What's that vital lesson, Brother Hatim? That the only one that's playing in life is you, player. The only one playing in life is you. It's we. We the only ones playing in life. Everybody else is deadly serious because when that stork got caught up in that net, he told the farmer the same story many of our brothers and sisters and cousins, aunts and uncles, in some cases mothers and fathers, tried to explain to the police or to the authority figure when they got caught up in the wrong place. You shouldn't have been with them. You know, and what's crazy is when you try to use this type of logic and give individuals this lesson, not only can they not get it in who I be dealing with, but their family, their parents can't get it. Yeah, but still. No, yeah, but still ain't work for the crane. For the stork. My fault. The cranes just accepted their fate. They was quiet. You know, they probably was screaming a little bit, but homeboy is begging for his life. Master, please, please. My broken leg should give you some inkling of mercy. Now, this is another lesson from the farmer, though. When you find those who have been taking food out your mouth, You need to deal with them. He didn't give him a good talking to. He didn't spank him and let him fly away, because he knew that if he let him escape, they was gonna come right back. So those of you with the sticky fingers, you know what I'm saying? Y'all need to be aware of this story, right? Because the farmer wasn't showing no mercy. He laughed at the crane. Ha, 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 ha. All that you say may be true, but I caught you with these cranes, and now you're going to have to die with these cranes. Out of place, out of pocket. The Bible was talking about knowing our orbit, knowing our place in our galaxy, in our universe, because when we are out of place, we throw everything out of place. And part of the problem with us is that a lot of us, we don't really understand order. There's an order to things. And many of us, we don't want to accept our position in that order. We're not satisfied with our position in our order because we have been brought up believing that we are the center. And we should be the center. And we should be heard.
This call is being recorded.
All right, so we got a call in. Somebody calling in to save me because I was about to go on and say some stuff that Bob was going to have to call in and check me on, because you know how I get. But who this on the line?
I think it's me.
You got a fire.
I don't think you
that's
can hear
Elder
me.
Tony.
Yep.
I can hear you. That's Elder Tony. Hold on, let me
Yeah,
make
but
sure
she
the family
couldn't
can
hear me
you.
when I was doing the drum call. It somehow
Yeah,
went
they
off.
did hear you.
Oh,
can
they
hear you.
did?
They
Oh,
was hearing you.
shut up.
Yeah.
In the
It
end?
was pretty. It was good.
Oh, okay.
No. Oh. Well, now at the end when we kept calling you, we couldn't hear you at all.
Yeah,
I don't
was
know what
playing
happened.
and nobody heard me. Okay.
Now that
So
part,
what
yeah,
am I
you
on
right.
now?
This is Folktales for grown folks. So you want me to read you the fable that we kind of discussing and getting a lesson out of?
You read it. It was about all the birds flock together.
All the birds flock together, right?
Well,
you
birds
got
of
some
a feather flock together.
Birds of a feather flock together. Even when they
like
begging
that.
and acting like they're them birds, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
You was with them. You got caught with them. You got to suffer the consequences.
Right. You're talking about the swan and the crow or something like that. Yeah.
Right. No, well, actually, it's the cranes and the stork. But there was other stories depending on. See, because what's strange about this, depending on who translated it, it would switch. Like, for example, I'm going to look it up so that we're going to have it. If we look up Aesop, the farmer and the crane. And the crane.
You don't have to stop being her older brother. Maybe it's time for you to just stop treating her like your baby.
Man, y'all watching TV loud over there. What y'all watching? See, we do it all here at
That's my
Gye-Nyame
wife.
Journey.
Oh, that's my wife. I'm trying to get the mood on. So,
Hello?
yeah, I got you. I had to put the mood on because she's in here,
I know.
You can hear me now, right?
Yes, sir. I hear you good.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me go back and make sure the family can see this. So let me go and put this news feed on. Wow.
Oh, okay.
All right, there we go. Aesop Fables. Let me find the right one. Fables of Aesop. There we go right here. Now, this one right here will give different translations. And we're liable to run into the different birds because the whole concept is about individuals being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Somebody else is calling in. Who else on the line? Who else is joining us on the journey? What's up, Shaka? How you doing?
I'm blessed. Somebody else gets out on the line?
Elder Tony on the line.
Yeah.
Who that? Oh.
Elder Tony.
Who said who that said
Elder
who
Tony
that?
West.
Hey, Baba, how you doing?
I don't know. I'm in trouble. Go ahead.
So in this version, birds of a feather flock together. That's only one of the morals. We have from a shorter translation go cranes invaded a farmer's field. He could drive them off with an empty sling for a while, but later he used rocks. That's when they learned and left. If words are not enough, action must be taken. That is one of the morals. So in this version, it says some cranes made their feeding grounds on some plowlands newly sown with wheat. For a long time, the farmer brandishing an empty sling chased them away. This is a different one, but it gets the same idea across. You know what I'm saying? Family, you have to be willing to take care of what's yours. You have to know the company that you run with. You know what I'm saying? Once again, nobody will take care of your stuff or you better than you, nor should they. Now, third, birds of a feather flock together. Although this stork was sitting up here swearing that he wasn't a crane, he was doing crane-like activities when he got caught. They all were birds to this man. It didn't make a difference that his feathers were a little bit lighter, or they might have been a little bit darker. It didn't matter to the farmer because the farmer caught him with a group that was in the process of depriving the farmer of his livelihood. Family, please understand, like I said now, how many of us got farmland and we got individuals on it stealing the very things that will provide us with sustenance? Because I can tell you right now in our community, this happens all the time. We got a whole bunch of cranes in our neighborhood. Just eating up the economic life of our community. Just eating them up. Eating up the seeds. You know what I'm saying? One Jolly Rancher and one Black and Mild at a time. They just eating up all of the resources in our community. Now, but the difference between us and the farmer is that the farmer was trying to shoo these birds away, but they would constantly return.
But
we, on the other hand, was like,
land.
But the farmer owned the land.
Right. We don't own what the birds are dealing with. Those birds that we dealing with, they see that as their stuff.
They see it as their stuff, or they see, or they got a relationship with the owner.
They see themselves as the owner. We are the ones who are in the way.
Hey, you know me. I see things at a different angle, just a little bit. I wanted to share something with y'all that I heard. I actually seen a video on Facebook of a shaman talking about ants.
Talking about ants?
Yeah.
Okay,
ants,
that's a different shot. But okay, go ahead.
So he says, if all the insects in the world were to not exist, then in a matter of time, the rest of the world
wouldn't exist.
Exactly.
Right.
But if humans were to not exist, the planet would flourish.
What is that?
That was me.
Sound like some chips or something.
That's exactly what it was. Some chips.
But go ahead, Shaka, make your point.
Well, I thought I'd share it because, no matter the side that we take, it's all human nature, right? And so what is the greater good? And profiling. I saw a drawing that was a response out of Newsweek about black men wearing masks. Does it heighten the tension of racial profiling?
Well, let's switch it around. The black men wearing masks are all now Muslims. And on a spiritual journey. I tested that in Loads and a couple other places. So the birds of a feather flocking together. I think the ant story is a little different because they colonize different than the birds do. They don't take flight. They have to stay grounded to the ground. Whereas the birds, they take flight. They can move around. So
now I will have to say this: the ants will take flight. The ants will take flight when necessary.
Not like a bird.
No,
Not like a
not
bird.
like a bird. Not like a bird. What I'm talking about is like the fire ant. When there's a hurricane.
Now you done changed ants on us here. We got.
He went to the ants that tear you up. Go ahead.
This is important. The fire ant. When there is like a hurricane, they band together and make a net.
We know that. We know that. We up on all of that, and the certain birds do the same thing. Wow. Well, he was talking about the birds of a feather flock together from the farmer's perspective, who owns the land.
Right.
And what I was trying to say is, in our situation, it's the flip. The birds own the land, and we're the ones in the way.
Right. Wow.
Wow. Man, so
what we gonna do, family? And we don't flock together. It's like what Bob Kelsey was talking about earlier about the unity. We don't see unity first, I don't think. Now, I could be wrong.
Oh, man.
Now, we were ants, we would see unity first.
We would need it. We believe that we don't need unity to survive anymore.
Right.
Not realizing, but most domesticated, most domesticated animals don't see that they need unity anymore. Dogs are, it's rare that you see dogs wanting to run in the pack. No, they trying to fight over territory. They become solitary. When you domesticate something, it's able to exist in a sense by itself amongst a bunch of strangers. And that's basically what, in a sense, happened to us. We've been domesticated. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for a real black man. You are judged by the company. You are judged by the company you keep. That's one of the more birds of a feather flock together. That's a common piece. And there's a whole bunch of different ones. But here, let's check out this application. If bad company had nothing else to make us shun and avoid it, this, methinks, might be sufficient. That it infects and taints a man's reputation to as great a degree as if he were thoroughly versed in the wickedness of the whole gang. What is it to me if the thief who robs me of my money gives part of it to build a church? Is he ever the less a thief? Shall a woman going to prayer twice a day save her reputation if she is known to be a malicious, lying gossip? No, such mixtures of religion and sin make the offense but the more flagrant, as they convince us that it was not committed out of ignorance. Indeed, there is no living without being guilty of some faults, more or less, which the world ought to be too good-natured enough to overlook, in consideration of the general frailties of mankind, when they are not too gross and too abundant. But when we are so abandoned to stupidity and a neglect of our reputation as to keep bad company, however little we may be criminal in reality, we must expect the same censure and punishment as is due to the most notorious of our companions. Damn. Why should you hang around? Huh? Go ahead.
Well, first of all, every victory is someone's defeat. And so when we move about in this world where we think that the next man is our ally because we seem to be making a short walk together, a lot of times it's those same individuals will step on you to be able to continue their journey beyond where may seem fit for a larger collective. This I see every day, and especially now, where not everyone is really prepared to move into this survivalist state. So it is definitely survival of the fittest. Is definitely the intentional divides that we decide in terms of who belongs to our flock, who we will support, who will live and die for, honestly, and who we draw the line of who we're protecting our resources from. And it's self-preservation. When we don't have those things, inevitably, just like was it Harvey Dent who said it in The Dark Knight? He said, "You'll either die a hero." Was that?
Or live long enough to become the villain.
Yes. I close with that.
So now, and I think, because one of the critical lessons, especially that come out for our young people, is like, I don't think we take enough time to not only evaluate our own character, but to evaluate the characters of those people that are around us. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying? Because if you could be on the road with somebody, and then all of a sudden they could turn around and just totally step on you, you have to really look at, because Doc was talking about in his chapter on health, he talks about the five senses, and he throws on the sixth sense called discernment. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what is it about us that makes it possible for us to spend years with somebody and not have asked some critical questions prior to getting into a situation where things like money is involved and you see a different person?
Oh man, yo, how Tim? You know, for as long as you've known me, man, my spidey senses has been pretty on point. Sometimes people don't like hearing what it is that I sense about an individual, but I think that throughout our history, man, when I had a vibe, it always came into fruition.
And that was one of the lessons, to learn how to do that. But now what this story tells us is an individual that got caught in a messed up situation is trying to explain their way out of this. Now, are we to go with what this person is saying, or are we to mete out the punishment that goes along with the crime that they were around? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know the answer to that. If this is my opinion, if I'm looking at it from a Western point of view, and you're of that bird flock, I don't give a shit what you say. You with the birds. If I'm looking at it from an African-centered point of view of my aunt, if I'm looking at it from that point of view, I have to listen to what you have to say, and I have to weigh that based on other pieces. So if I'm behind enemy lines in a Western world, which one do I choose? The one that like you said, we go for a long time, and all of a sudden, just bam, you choose that. So the question is, not the question, but somewhat is that there are those of us who have held the line. No matter what the choice is, we do hear the story and say, no, he's not with that group.
Mm-hmm.
But that's hard. That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother understanding. That means you're switching from in my opinion, it means you're switching from, because this story is a definite of like a Western story where they say birds of a feather flock together. But okay, I may be a bird, I may be flocking with that, but I have my own story because of my group, my other group that I hang with, not this group, but my other group. And so do you get to hear that? No, I don't get to hear that. What did they say? They say we kill them all and let God sort them out, because that ain't my job to
kill
decide
them all
whether
and
you're
let God.
doing it. Yeah,
you know what?
right.
So I would love some feedback on this, because this is something that I very seldomly talk about, but it's constantly on my mind. Because I came up in the Rites of Passage program here in Cleveland with Paul Hill.
Brother Paul Hill. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I came to Columbus, and that's
okay.
And that's when I hooked up with Hatim and Malika. And so the piece is
Malika
though.
Farquhar?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So
yes.
you know who I am?
I know exactly who you are. We've
so
broken bread together.
So the one that you're talking about, I was there at the beginning with Paul Hill and the ones here from Columbus and the ones around. So what's your question?
So the piece is that I was born at Travis Air Base. My mother is from Bangkok, Thailand.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. I was in the Air Force. I was at Tachikawa Air Force Base in Japan.
Wow.
And I played basketball for the United States Air Force, so I traveled all over the Far East.
Wow, I know a guy here that you got to know if he was around 74, 76.
Well, I think I got out before then. I forgot, because I went in 61. But go ahead. I don't want to take you off your thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No problem. So the thing is that my mother being South Asian,
mm-hmm.
and her intentions, even today, I sat on the mat with an Abakalao before, who told me to go to my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And the piece is that when I called her, she told me some things that only she and he would understand at the time. And it's just very interesting to me. But the outside of the black experience of it all,
mm-hmm.
I've been told some other things about my lineage from Thailand, and how that goes back to the Sanskrit, and how that goes back to even my mother's name being Sanskrit, that I should, really profoundly acknowledge and accept those rights, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though my mother brought me into, well, not brought me into, but kind of gave her blessing into this Yoruba piece of me sitting on the mat. I never knew that she was connected at all.
Mm-hmm.
But when she said what she said, it kind of sealed that conversation. But we'll talk about that some other time. So getting down to the point of, you got an individual who, myself, and having this lineage with my father, who is black, and my mother, who is full-blooded Thai. Now, in the conversation of blackness, I understand profoundly where I stand. When it comes to the conversation and my purpose and oneness, I profoundly understand. Right? So when we are having conversations or doing things together collectively, sometimes when we get into the concept of what is universal or what is oneness and what I represent, and it comes to where I stand in nationalism, the discomfort in that is that not everybody understands my lineage and each of the conversations and my skin in both worlds.
Okay.
That.
And your point being that you're balanced, if that's the way I see it. Because it's the way I see it. You're balanced. Now, they're not supposed to understand that because they don't live that.
Right. I'm about to say, because there's no way I could really, I could say I understand, but I really wouldn't be able to understand that. Right. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
They, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, and that is either your blessing or your cross.
Right. Right.
Depending on how you look at it.
But it's both. Because at time it's exactly because when I was over in Japan, and because I was born and raised in Harlem, 125th Street is where I was born, on Sydenham Hospital in 8th Avenue. So I'm around all of the conscious stuff, whatever you want to call it. And but when I was over in Japan, the way I got over there is that I was at Scott Air Force Base, Illinois, and some European guy was messing with a brother on the pool table, and I decided to get involved. And when I got involved, the European guy got all upset, and he left. And when he came back with a bunch of guys, a bunch of white guys. I told the back in them days we would say colored folks. I told them, y'all stay here. Do not move. Do not come up off of this, because the recreation center. And I went out and dealt with them, but now because that was not the first time I had faced down a group of of people. At that point, they're not white. They're black or purple or yellow. They're an adversary that is actually going to do you harm based on where their heads are at. So your head goes into that mode. Whether you can go in that mode or not is the point. But you can go into that mode. You can deal with it. So I dealt with it. As a result of that, I got because the people on the base knew that I was studying Nichiren Shoshu, which they call Buddhism. They sent me to Japan. Okay, so that's how I wound up over in Japan. So I'm in Japan riding around, doing all this stuff here, doing this stuff. And I got all this knowledge from 125th Street and 135th Street and 121st, all that stuff. I'm good. I'm studying this stuff. So I had a red sports car. It broke down. And I went into the shop to get it fixed. And Papa San was in there with the bonsai tree, right? And so I asked him to explain the bonsai tree to me. He said, no. And I was like, wait a minute, you think I'm like them other colored folks? No. I said, Papa San, domo arigato. I'm working with him, So Papa San after a while turned around to me and said, well, don't you know who you are? And at that point, it was like, uh-oh. So before I left Harlem, I went into the bookstore on the corner of 125th Street in 7th Avenue. Moshe's, that famous bookstore there with all the pictures in front of where Malcolm did the speech and stuff, and got a whole series of J.A. Rogers and all that kind of stuff, and what the order of, he gave me the order in which to read it. So at that moment, I was quiet and left the shop and started taking the books out and read them. Then at that point, I understood. Okay, although I'm over here in this stuff, I'm in these two lives, in these two worlds, because of who my mother was and who I am, and so then that became clear. It never gets clear. You're always like you understand it, but you can't actually explain it to somebody else. But somebody else who actually is in those worlds. For instance, you said that they're doing Yoruba. Okay, so the Babalao or whichever Babalao it is, and whatever family he's from, they got that. But the Thai people, you said your mom's from Thailand, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they have a strong, real deep history that is kind of tied pretty much, to that, as well. So understanding how they look at things spiritually, and like Baba Kelsey was talking about today when he was talking about the sixth sense. Well, actually, we used to call it something else, where they can see things and develop things, like that. So it's kind of like a blessing, but at the same time, it's kind of like no.
It absolutely is a curse.
Yeah, right. It's like no, I don't want. It's kind of like that, but because of that, you're able to, if I'm not mistaken, like you said earlier, see and say things to other people who won't be able to see something, but you're able to see it real clear. It's saying to them like, oh, you need to take this one here, right? This one here, not that one, this one here. You can see it real clear, and everybody else standing around you is going like, what the hell is he talking about? Because they may not see it, but that's what that is. So
that's
if you
exactly
don't mind,
what that feels like.
Yeah. So that's it. And you're your own. You're your own health provider. You provide your own strength, and you heal yourself. You pretty much know how to do that. And then sometimes it will get like that's why you're talking to bouncing off Brother Hot Tim, because he comes like blam, like so you like but then sometimes like, oh, Tim, like, what the hell are you talking about? But then at the same time, then that'll come like that. So when you asked us that question, immediately I saw that you already knew the answer.
Yeah.
But you were just putting the question on the table.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that's good. That's really
Looking for that discussion.
Yeah, that's really good.
Looking for the discussion.
Yeah. And
right
that hurts. Do you? If you don't mind me asking, do you do any looking at just greenery?
Yeah, I do. Baby.
And it calms you down, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, but at the same time, you also have to say, "Oh shit, let me turn away from this," because. Okay.
Yeah.
So you good to go.
Yes, sir.
Your train is on the tracks and your bird is flying in the air, and that's why you was talking about them damn ants. Talk about, when they get in trouble, they put themselves into a ball and like, they're like, oh hell.
And float away.
Yeah, that's right.
But family.
Well, they stick together,
Right.
What he's talking about, if you don't mind, finding someone to stick together with him in the state of mind sometimes that we get into, it's hard because the folks can't just be there. They just can't, because they just, but they are there, but they're not there the way you would want them to be. So
right.
Yeah.
Right. But Hot Tim would be there. I mean, he's like, okay, I'm here, so we. And then you be going like, well, Hot Tim, so. He go like, wait a minute, man, wait a minute. Okay, so
Is somebody wait? There's a third person on the line. I heard somebody else on the line. I thought I heard somebody else. Okay, well, no, it's on the show. I heard
you
somebody
the third
else.
person out there.
I heard somebody else's voice. I'm just saying.
Okay, all right. So wait a minute. Let's do perception check. Tony West, yes. Did you hear somebody's voice? No. Well, I think, all jokes aside, we're really talking in a metaphysical area.
Yeah.
And the area that we're talking in, spirit does appear.
Yeah. Wow.
And so, for those of us who do that, like he was speaking about, we have to be cognitive of that. And if we don't react to it, that means everything's okay. If you hear us stutter or take a pause or something, but so you're right there, Brother Hatim, because you recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
We actually, in a sense, talked up that consciousness, in my opinion.
Wow.
Without doing the Kari shells or doing.
I truly did hear another laugh. With
me too.
well, they silent then.
They done went quiet on us. But hey, it's time for us. Yeah, it went quiet on me. But family, it's time for us to bring this one to an end. I want to thank Elder Tony West. I want to thank Brother Shaka for calling in. And we had a real good time tonight. And what I want to do is, family, I want to remind you, support G&J Media. You go to gnjmedia.support and become one of the mighty 100. Also, go ahead, Elder.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him, Brother Shaka, is that okay though? Because he opened up not only his heart, he opened up a whole bunch of stuff. So is that okay?
Absolutely. This ain't the end of that conversation.
No,
it's just
of course not. Can't be. Yeah, no, we good. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. All right, thanks.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Elder.
Thank you, and thank you for
my mom, by the way, is in the same situation as some of my different culture and stuff like that. So we can talk later. In fact, that would be an exciting thing to meet in person and sit down and talk and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so, anyway,
I'm looking forward to it.
Brother Hatim, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, family, tomorrow we got an interview with C. Earl Campbell III.
Oh, wow.
And he's going to be talking about his book once again, and the title of his book is, get ready for it, it's The Art of Black War Against a Black Enemy. And he's talking about these organizations that have waged war on us that are of us. He gonna come with some information. So family, be sure to check that out tomorrow. I'm about to shut it down. Family, I love y'all.
Well, you've been on it a long time, so thank you for that.
Oh man, hey, this is what I'm do. Hey, this is what I do. This is if I could do.
Just say you're welcome.
Yes, sir.
Just say
you welcome, brother. You welcome. You welcome.
You feel me, Shaka? All right.
Well, this remind me of the story about the ants. I'm just joking. But anyway, family.
Which ant? The one that say he couldn't? Are you not talking about the one where the guy goes in the bar with the ant that he trained and to dance and sing, and the guy, he puts the ant on the bar, and the guy, he say, you see that ant there? And the other guy sitting next to him smashes it with his hand, say, oh yeah, little pesky little bastards, aren't they? You're not talking about that.
I spent half my life training that ant. But family, I'm gonna see y'all.
Training the hand. He gonna throw him off, man. You little pesky little bastards. Okay.
But hey, so family, I see y'all in the morning. I see you for the toast. Peace out.
Peace out.